evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call the meeting to order, please. Ms. Coakley, would you call the roll for us?
Mrs. Heinz.
Here.
Mr. Green. Mr. Derman. Mr. Loop.
Mr. Loop is attending an LSBA function this evening, representing us there.
Mr. Harrell. Mr. Nation. Mrs. Richardson. Mr. Winkler. Mrs. Drucker.
Here.
Mr. Bentoncourt. Mrs. Lamy.
Here.
Mr. Hersey. Mr. Bro. Mr. Kuzan. Mrs. Page.
Thank you very much. Would you please rise and join us in the Invocation and Pledge, which will be led this evening by Mrs. Page.
Please bow your heads. Lord, we are so thankful for everything you do for us each and every day. You always provide exactly what we need. And I pray that you be with our board this evening as we make all the decisions we make tonight. I pray you be with our teachers, but most of all, I pray you be with our students. These are the reasons that we're here tonight. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mrs. Page. Does anyone have any visitors they'd like to recognize this evening, board members? Ms. Lamy?
I heard there's some teachers in the audience, so if you would just stand up so we can say welcome to you. If you're a teacher in our parish, welcome. Thank you for being here. Stand up.
Anyone else? Thank you. Well, I'd like to welcome you to our June 13th meeting. The next item on our agenda is comments from the public, and we have two people who signed up for the 3-minute comments, and our first one is Ann Ogden. If you would come up to the microphone, please state your name.
Thank you for having me. I'm Ann Ogden. I'm head of the St. Tammany French Immersion Initiative. I'm here today not to try to convince you guys that we need a French immersion program or to talk about whether or not you guys can use your specific form. What I'm here to talk about is the law, and I provided a copy of the law to all of you guys for you to review, and I've highlighted 3 specific sections of it. The first section talks about the written submission. So by January 31st, the parents had to submit forms to the St. Tammany Parish School Board to initiate a French immersion program. That's what's required by the law. And part of that submission was a commitment to attend the program, knowing full well that there'd be no transportation and that we didn't know where the program would be located and housed. So the parents signed that. We got a determination from the St. Tammany Parish School Board on February 15th, which is the second thing, saying that they determined, it's on the back, that you all determined that the written submissions were sufficient and that you would be starting the program this year. That's required by law that you let us know by February 15th. So you informed all of the parents of that. Unfortunately, the next paragraph requires that you guys inform all of the parents in the school system of the new program and allow everyone to apply during the application period. That was not complied with, and so the parents were not informed of the new program, and they were actually turned away, the ones that did try to apply, that heard about it through friends and whatever other methods. So my question to you all is why you're not complying with the requirements of the law and moving this program forward to the best of the ability and in the best interest of the children of St. Tammany Parish. These parents and children have put their faith in the St. Tammany Parish School Board to give them the opportunity that they've been given the right to by the legislature of Louisiana. So if you guys have any questions about how this program could be implemented, there are 2 departments through the Department of Education and Codafil, which is a state agency, which helps to provide the curricula, translated books, helps hire teachers. All different kind of things are available, including additional money for the school board fund. I've written to you guys before about this, and I'm also available for any questions, and I can put you in touch with the people at the Department of Education with Codafil who can answer your questions. But if you could just answer for me why we're not complying with the law, and giving the same commitment to our parents that you've asked of them, to commit to sending their kids to this school, as they did already in the waiver that, petition that they submitted on January 31st. Thank you very much for your time this evening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ogden. All right, and our next person who signed up to speak is Kristen Timmons.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Foles. I am a teacher here in St. Tammany Parish. I have for a very long time been proud to call myself a teacher in St. Tammany Parish. I am here today simply to say that as teachers, we make the choice every single day to get up and take care of and educate hundreds of students in this parish. And we are simply asking for help and cooperation in trying to resolve some child care issues that have come up recently. I yield the rest of my time. Thank you very much.
Let me say I'm sorry, Ms. Haynes. Go ahead.
I was just going to thank
Yeah.
Ms. Timmons.
If you'll hang around after the meeting, I'll be glad to have myself, Pete, or Mike talk to you. And
Yes,
meet
sir.
with-
Thank you.
Meet with you and follow up with you. Sorry.
It's fine, thank you. Our next agenda item is approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held on May 13th, 2019. Do I have a motion to accept those minutes? I have a motion by Mr. Kuzan and a second from Ms. Drucker. Do we have any comments from board members?
Is there a way that you can just say that we can comment on these things if it's not on the agenda?
Oh.
Some people sit in the audience and not aware.
We're speaking about the minutes now, Ms.
I didn't
Levy.
know if you could make that announcement, because I think they're just confused, but okay. No, I don't have any minutes.
All right. Do we have any comments from the public? All those in favor of accepting the minutes from May 13th, 2019 meeting, please vote on the machines. All right, we have 14 yeas, so the minutes are passed. Thank you very much, Ms. Coakley. Our next item is appropriate retirement resolutions for the following certificated personnel subsequent to May 17th, 2019. Mr. Jabbia, if you could read that list, please.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Sherry D. Barkmeyer, Brooks Curriculum Center, 33 years, 30 years in St. Tammany Parish. Linda S. McLean, Carolyn Park Middle, 30 years, 23 years in St. Tammany Parish. Sina J. Renatza, Carolyn Park Middle, 34 years, 11 years in St. Tammany Parish. Patricia H. Farris, Central Office, 43.46 years, 9.36 years in St. Tammany Parish. Elizabeth L. Lane, Central Office, 39.67 years, 29 years in St. Tammany Parish. Lena Leblanc, Central Office, 22.42 years, 21.42 years in St. Tammany Parish. Regina P. Sandford, Central Office, 32.58 years, 23 years in St. Tammany Parish. Pamela A. Hudy, Creekside Junior High, 25.95 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Deborah M. Richards, Cypress Cove Elementary, 31.50 years, 21 years in St. Tammany Parish. Bud A. Ditchendorf, Fountainblue High, 20.50 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Susan S. Patan, Lake Harbor Middle, 31.90 years, 28.90 years in St. Tammany Parish. Allison R. Carlin, Mandeville Elementary, 39.57 years, 13 years in St. Tammany Parish. Paul A. Freeshoe, North Shore High, 29.18 years, 16 years in St. Tammany Parish. Kathleen B. Huval, Pineview Middle, 41 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Patricia S. Bauer, 6th Ward Elementary, 12.51 years, all in St. Tammany Parish.
Thank you, Mr. Jabbia. I have a motion by Mr. Derwin. Do I have a second? Mr. Brough? Do we have any comments from board members?
We're
Mr.
gonna speak.
Betancourt?
Thank you, Ms. Hanks. Mr. Jabbia, if we vote no, do they all have to stand?
That's the way I look at it, Miss. Yeah.
Thank you.
Just on those four.
Central office.
You know, we do have a portion of our agenda later where we will be recognizing some of the people that are on this retirement list tonight. And all those who are retiring. We wish them very much happiness and good health in their retirement. So do we have any other comments from board members? Do we have any comments from members of the public? If not, could we please vote? We have 14 yeas, so that motion passes. Congratulations on those retirements. Our next item is appropriate retirement resolutions for the following non-certificated personnel subsequent to May 17th, 2019. Mr. Javier.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Jennifer B. Grady, Carolyn Park Middle, 25.88 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Judith H. Quinn, Clearwood Junior High, 23.12 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. James R. Williams, Covenant Warehouse, 30.44 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Darlene K. Bennett, Information Technology, 30.46 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Maria D. Baracco, Mandeville Elementary, 20 years, all in St. Tammany Parish. Karen C. Calulet, Transportation Center, 26 years, 24 years in St. Tammany Parish. Dolores S. Landor, Transportation Center, 31.64 years, all in St. Tammany Parish.
All right, do I have a motion to accept these retirements? A motion by Ms. Drucker, a second by Ms. Richardson. All right, comments from the public? Comments from board members. Well, my comment is, what would we do without our non-certificated personnel? They keep our school system running every day, and we appreciate everything they do so much. And we hope that those retiring this evening will have happy and healthy retirements also. Any comments from the public? If none, will you please vote? We have 14 yeas. Mr. Javier, do you have a total of years on those? You did not total those up. Well, you can do that for your homework, huh? Thank you. All right, our next item is certification of board members Matthew E. Green, Elizabeth B. Heinz, Michael J. Derman, Stephen J. Loop, Brandon Harrell, Michael C. Nation, Shelta J. Richardson, Michael E. Winkler, Ronald Betancourt, Tammy Lamy, Ricky Hersey, James Bro, Dennis S. Kuzan, Lisa M. Page, in completion of 1 hour of training for 2019, presented on June 6, 2019, as mandated by Louisiana Revised Statute 17:53. Mr. Falls.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. I do certify that the board members named above did complete their training as required.
Thank you very much. Our next item is approval of recommendations from the Committee as a Whole meeting for Business Affairs Administrative held on June 6, 2019. Mr. Derman, do you have that report?
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Hines. We have one recommendation, that is recommends acceptance of the insurance for property, primary and excess liability, crime, boiler and machinery, workers' comp policy, compensation, and NFIP coverage for the school system.
All right, do I have a motion to accept that recommendation? Mr. Green, I have a motion from you. Mr. Nation, would you like to make that second? Sure. All right, do we have any questions on our insurance?
Ms. Hines, I'm just going to add that that was thoroughly discussed in our committee meeting last week, and all of the coverages and premiums and changes, if any of that was also discussed. So
yes,
I'm just refreshing everybody's memory from that.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments from board members? If not, do we have any questions from the public? Would you please take the opportunity to vote on the acceptance of the insurance for property, primary and excess liability, crime, boiler and machinery, workers' compensation, and NFIP? We have 14 yeas, so that motion passes.
Ms. Hines, that completes our report.
Thank you very much, Mr. Darman. All right, now we come to a portion of our meeting that we look forward to this evening. We have some special recognitions. Superintendent Foles.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Board members, tonight, as Mr. Javier mentioned earlier, we have 4 of our central office employees that are retiring. This will be their last school board meeting, so I just wanted to share just a couple facts about each one of them and then give them the opportunity, if they wanted to say a word or two, if that's okay as well.
Sure.
So the first one is Patricia Pat Ferris. Ms. Ferris came to us in February of 2010, and she has been our food service child nutrition program supervisor for the last 9.4 years. As you know, our food service program has been very well recognized across the state and the country for many, many years. And when Pat came in, we have not missed a beat and even taken it to the next level. So I'm certainly proud of her and thank her for the work that she has done in our school system.
Ms. Ferris, do you have a few words?
Javia, Dr. Sandford, Mr. Kosei, and board members, thank you for a fabulous experience. I joined the St. Tammany team almost 10 years ago, and everyone in this room, principals as well as principals, assistant principals, welcomed me with open arms. My office staff and all of the cafeteria employees were so receptive to me, a stranger to them, and all of my ideas. I was blessed to inherit a great program, and there is no better food service staff in the country. I have received, and our system has received, national recognition many times, and I was proud to have more gold awards of distinction than any school district in the country, even those with over 1,000 schools. This was due to the dedication not only of our cafeteria staff, but what the principals were willing to do to support our program. Last year, I received Director of the Year for the state of Louisiana, and this year, when we go to our state conference next week in New Orleans, our district will win more prizes, more awards than all of the other school districts combined. So none of this would be accomplished over the past years without your help, Mr. Foles and the board. For your support, I thank you. And I cannot name everybody and every department that has helped me, but everyone has been so cooperative. Managing a $22 million budget is not an easy task, but thank goodness I had Terry Prevost to always depend on. And coordinating 400 employees would not have been possible without Lori Niehaus and her fabulous staff. Lewis, thank you for helping us move from paper tickets to now an ID scan and approval online of our applications. Through the years here, in my short 9.5 years, I've had several bosses. When I started, I reported to Mr. Foles, then to Mr. Brady, then Cheryl Araby, then Dr. Sandford, and finally, Michael Kosei. Mr. Kosei gets me. He knows I like to tell a story. I like to go in and give the history and give a graph and make a color chart and do this and do that. And you know Mike, he's a man of few words. So once I learned what all those abbreviations stood for, we do great together. There are not enough words to express my feelings for the school food service employees. I believe they are by far the hardest working people in this district. I'm so proud of their dedication and their hard work. I feel good. As much as I'm going to miss everyone, I feel good that we're leaving. I'm leaving a very strong program. The central office knows what to do, and the cafeteria staff are very talented, and they do the right thing, and they want to continue to do the right thing. I'm going to miss the people I've worked with. I'm going to miss the work. But I want to thank you for allowing me to serve the children of this great parish.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ferris. You know, one thing I noticed immediately with you is when you went into the schools, the food service workers, they were family. And that was so obvious at any time I was in the schools with you or at the food service end of the year functions. So I'm sure your family is going to miss you. Thank you. Mr. Derwin?
I just want to make sure we got somebody who can make some raisin and oatmeal cookies back there. Because if not, you can't go. Congratulations.
Thank you. Mr. Falls?
All right, next up is Lena Leblanc. Miss Leblanc came to us in 1997 as a teacher. Started her first job was at Carolyn Park Middle School. And then she became assistant principal at Carolyn Park in 2005. And after that time, in 2009, she was appointed assistant principal at Lakeshore High School. And from that position, she removed in 2011, spent 6 years as the principal and opened Mayfield Elementary School. From there, Lena has been in the central office since 2017. So Lena has 21.4 years total with our school system. And I can honestly say there's not been one single time that I haven't put a parent in touch with Lena with a problem, a question, or concern that the person did not come back to me and say that Ms. LeBlanc was professional, courteous, and answered her questions and worked well with them. So we will certainly miss her. We will miss her positive spirit and happy smile all the time that we see, and her great attitude, and we wish her the best in her retirement as well. Congratulations.
Mrs. LeBlanc?
It seems like just last week I was here. Yes, I was. First, I'd like to thank God for all of the blessings that one can only imagine. I am so grateful. I thank my family and friends for always accepting and believing in me. My husband, Kevin, Chanel, Chelsea, I love you to the moon and back. I thank Superintendent Falls, Assistant Superintendent Pete Jabia, Assistant Superintendent Mike Kosey, and of course, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Regina Sandford. I thank you all for believing in me and allowing me to fulfill all of my ambitions. I've said it many times, there are no chance or accidental meetings. Paths are crossed for a reason. To all that I have met, no matter how the encounter, I thank you for making me a better person. I thank you because everyone is so special. Every moment is precious, and life is so short, so that we must appreciate every meeting. I cannot go without saying, of course, to my Mayfield ride or die family, thank you for being here. In my 22 years as an educator, I had just one desire, and that was to make a difference. Being an educator is the most rewarding and toughest jobs I've ever done. It's not for the weak, but for the determined. And I've had the privilege of working with so many talented, educated, strong, and fearless educators. You all make St. Tammany what it is. It is amazing, the tenacity of getting up every day, fighting the battles every day, and making a difference for our future. I cannot say enough about how amazingly wonderful we have gathered the people in St. Tammany Parish Schools. For that, I thank you all. I will forever be your supporter and your champion. And to each and every one sitting in here, I would not have been able to be here or do the things that I can without your support. So thank you all, because many of you sat here at my very first walk down the aisle. So I appreciate you all. Continue doing what you're doing and putting children first. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Arlena, thank you so much. From the first time I met you, I thought, what a professional. And I can say that every time I've heard you speak or be in front of a group, that professionalism has come through, and I really admire that. Thank you so much. Enjoy your retirement. Mr. Vols.
Yes, next up is Elizabeth Beth Lane. Miss Lane came to us in 1990 as a teacher, T1 teacher at Mandeville Elementary School. From there, she became the assistant principal at Mandeville Elementary, and from there, she became the principal at Mandeville Elementary School. So I think you can see she had a pretty good love for Mandeville Elementary School. And it certainly took a lot for us to have her come up here to the central office in 2011. So she's been in the central office for the last 8 years, serving as a supervisor of curriculum and instruction on the elementary level. And I will tell you, and I know board members, you've heard me say this before, but some of the work that Beth has done with early childhood is unprecedented in this state. And the impact that that program and the work that she's done with these young children at that very, very early age is going to pay dividends for this school systems for so many years to come. And we will be thanking Beth Lane for her contributions for many, many years. And we wish you the best in your retirement as well. Congratulations.
So two things before I start. Mr. Foles, you read this before you spoke, and then Arlena, my husband asked me, do I have to bring flowers? So I won't point him out, but he's sitting back there with no flowers. You don't have to come up, honey, you just don't. But I love you. So I'd like to start by saying good evening and thank you to Mr. Foles, Mr. Jabia, Mr. Kosei, and Regina Sandford, and all of the board members. This is going to be a little different kind of a speech, but there's so much I want to share with you. First, I'd like to take a moment to offer thanks to each of you for providing me the opportunity to work in a profession that I truly love. As I start the next phase of life, I will continue to have a great passion and drive to support education, and especially education for our young children in St. Tammany. I want to take a moment to thank the C&I team. Regina, you have been a blessing to me in my life and a blessing to our early childhood department as you continuously make decisions that are driven by what would be best for our children. And my C&I team, you, my friends, are amazing, and I believe in each one of you. As you work together as a team, you will continue to be strong and make huge differences for each child in our district. And everybody needs to know our system is in great hands. I would like to thank my dear husband and my family, as they have given much for me to be able to follow my dreams. I am very happy to say that I will no longer have to look into the eyes of my beautiful grandchildren, as my husband gets to stay home with them as they're visiting, and I have to answer the question, Grammy, why do you have to go to work? It's their time now. I thank each child that I have taught and each parent that I have worked with, because I am who I am today because of each one of them. I have learned so much. It is in great hands that I leave you with a new early childhood supervisor and this fabulous early childhood team. This team works together tirelessly, creating the excellent early childhood program in St. Tammany Parish. Deneen is here with us tonight, representing that team. Deneen and I go back to Mandeville Elementary, so I thank you, Deneen, for being here tonight. But each team member has contributed. Our team has grown over the years. I remember the day it was one early childhood coordinator and one supervisor. Now we have 3 MHPs, 1 behavior teacher, along with 2 paras, 6 coordinators, and 6 coaches, and 1 secretary. It is because of this teamwork that today I can share with you the data that we reflected upon for the 2018-19 school year. And we can proudly say that our network is projected to be a highly proficient network with an overall score of 5.6. That is truly amazing. There are 2 child care centers who scored excellent. In our public school system, we are projected to have 12 excellent schools. The overall public school system average is a 6.0. That makes St. Tammany Parish Public Schools an excellent child care provider and centers. So thank you. We scored excellent. It didn't happen by one person. It was truly a team effort. This team does include our early childhood team, our network leadership team, and each network member. Together, we are truly making a difference for our young children. Now, with all that being said, I couldn't let the night end without having one last request for each of you as board members and leaders. Please always keep in mind our young children. I left you a little token to remind you each day that your decision is truly designing our future. Building strong young children is the foundation that will support a strong community and a strong workforce in St. Tammany Parish. Please continue to value our young children today and know they not only need but deserve a high quality and access to high quality learning experiences and settings. Secondly, I wanted to share with you that the demands placed on the early childhood teacher is much, much different today. However, they never complain. We do not have a large turnover among teachers and paras in the early childhood department. It is their love, their dedication, their hard work, and that love of children that makes them stay the course. I would like to thank each teacher, each para, and each administrator for this today. Today we can truly say our kids are entering kindergarten ready to learn. As they do so, our goal is always to continue to provide positive learning experience until that day we can celebrate their great success at graduation, and you, Mr. Foles, can give them each their diploma.
There you go.
One huge strength in our district is the collaboration of the special education department under Jeannie's guidance and the early childhood department. I beg each leader in this room to remember our young children are just that, children. And all of them deserve the time and the experiences to grow and learn. We have seen great growth in our children by supporting them and by working together. I pray this collaboration continues and strengthens each year because it is truly what is best for our children. So thanks for providing me with the opportunity of a wonderful career, one that is really one of my calling in life rather than a job. Thanks to each of you for your hard work and support. Please continue to design a great future, and remember, it is truly in your hands. And we know and believe that you will continue to build a great future. Thank you.
You know, Beth, every day you could see your love of children, and it did seem to be your calling in life. And we appreciate you sharing that with our littlest ones in St. Tammany Parish. But do enjoy those grandchildren now. We know you will. All right, Mr. Foles.
All right, certainly last but certainly not least is Dr. Regina Sandford. Regina came to our school system in 1996 as a science teacher at Fontainebleau High School. From there, in 2001 to 2006, she was assistant principal at Fontainebleau High School. And then in 2007, she moved to the central office where she was a curriculum and instruction supervisor, secondary, for 7 years. And since 2015, she has served as assistant superintendent of curriculum instruction. I think we all know that probably the last 4 or 5 years have been some of the toughest challenges of ever as it deals with curriculum and curriculum issues and state level issues with curriculum. And Regina's been there every step of the way, serving on many committees on the state level, chairmans of some of the most important committees representing our school system, making connections with the State Department and other areas that serve our school system best. Y'all have heard me say so many times before that one of my favorite sayings is, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong room. Well, Regina was that smartest person in the room many of those times, and we will miss her expertise. We will miss our love for our system, and we will certainly just miss her every day as a friend in our system. We're lucky that Mississippi State was not playing tonight, so she joined us for this event. And we're going to miss her, and we thank her for everything she's done and wish her the very best in her retirement as well.
Dr. Sandford.
How can I follow all of these? President Heinz, Superintendent Votes, board members, and staff, it's been truly my pleasure and privilege to serve the students, stakeholders, and communities of St. Tammany Parish Public Schools for 23 years. Reflecting on my 36 years as an educator in both public schools and universities, my goal has always been to assist students achieving success, whether that is in the academic realm, athletics, extracurricular, or service, to promote them in preparation for their futures. However, it's now time for me to turn to a new page in my life. As you know, I am not a native Louisianian, so my family and my husband are both in Mississippi, and I will be moving to northern Mississippi to spend time with my family. However, I would be very, very remiss to not acknowledge the fact that I'm leaving behind my friends, professional colleagues, who I love dearly. Both in this room, every single person, in our schools, and in our satellite offices. I will treasure all of these relationships in my heart for a lifetime. St. Tammany is very blessed with true professionals dedicated to the success of this school system, and I'm confident in the leadership in this room, in our schools, and in our satellite offices. And my wish for all of you is God's blessing on you personally and professionally. Curriculum and instruction team, you are absolutely the best. I can't say enough about you, and I love you dearly. All of you are my friends in this room, and I will be your biggest cheerleader from afar. God bless you.
Regina, when I had a question on the board about high school things, man, you were the high school guru. You knew everything about being a high school student and the curriculum and graduation requirements, and then you came into this position and you know everything now, I feel like, about our just our whole curriculum, and I really have appreciated that, and your knowledge and your hard work and your dedication to it over all the years. And you may be from Mississippi, but you know you always have a home here in Louisiana with your Louisiana family. So thank you very much. Mr. Betancourt.
Thank you. Dr. Sandford, in your honor, I will root for Mississippi State this year at the College World Series. In part because LSU isn't there.
Right. Exactly.
Mr. Winkler.
I've been fortunate enough to get to know all four of these great educators as I went through the system myself. But I got to work pretty closely with Regina, and she used to be my direct supervisor, and she lived in Picayune, and she'd come right by Pearl River and stop and check on us. And without her guidance, I would have not have been successful. I truly don't believe that, Regina, and I thank you publicly for that. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you all. Wishing you all a happy and healthy retirement. Thank you, Mr. Foles.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to our next item, which is announcements. And our announcements this evening are, there will be a special board meeting immediately following this meeting for the purpose of the superintendent's performance review. The meeting will be held in executive session. A special board meeting to receive sealed bids for the purchase of $35 million of general obligation school bond series 2019 will be held on Tuesday, June 18th at 11:30 in the boardroom of the C.J. Shane Administrative Complex. Board members, if you cannot attend this meeting, I would appreciate you giving me a heads up because a quorum will be required for that 11:30 in the morning meeting. There will be a special board meeting on Tuesday, June 18th, beginning at 6 p.m. for expulsion appeal hearings. Further, the central office and satellite offices will be closed on Thursday, July 4th and Friday, July 5th for Independence Day. There will be a special board meeting on Tuesday, July 9th, beginning at 6 p.m. for expulsion appeal hearings. The July Committee as a Whole meeting will be held on Thursday, July 11th. And please remember to check board docs, handouts for our meeting notices, and other important information. Thank you all for being here.
Can we have a video we have to show?
Okay. Before we adjourn, then, we have a video that we're going to share this evening.
Real quick, we had a great event the last couple of days, and Regina gets to speak one more time at the school board meeting. So I'm going to ask Regina just to share just a few minutes, and then if we could close with a video that recaps this great event in our school system.
This week, the district hosted Summer Institute, Learning with the Stars. It was a 2-day training for teachers and administrators, 1 additional day for paras and safety and security school team training. The red carpet was rolled out to honor the hard work of our educators, and each participant achieved a star on the Walk of Fame. Approximately 1,000 of our educators attended at this host site, which was at Lakeshore High. One thing that I will have to say, I've heard this comment at least twice. St. Tammany knows how to put on a conference. And this came the second time this year. And these are national experts that come in. We're doing things right in our district. This is a testament to the dedication and commitment of all of our staff. And it does not happen without planning and attention to details. That is called teamwork. That was Mr. Foltz's theme several years ago. That is who we are in St. Tammany Parish, always providing the support along the pathway to improvement. I would like to give a special acknowledgement to the entire team, supervisors, curriculum specialists, coordinators, instructional coaches, interventionists, teachers, special ed staff, IT staff, maintenance, administrators, and the Lakeshore High staff. As you can see, it did take a team to share in this success. In today's climate, we often hear more negative than positive, but we prefer to end this school year on the positive, the pathway to success for our students.
Very good.
This is our annual Summer Institute. It's our 3rd year having our Summer Institute for our teachers and administrators at Lakeshore High School. So we have over 13 categories ranging from pre-K all the way to high school. So we have over 200 courses in those 13 categories. So that way we can cover a range of all the different types of teachers that we have in our district.
So for us, it's just trying to get better and take new ideas, combine them with old ideas, and just to get better at what we do.
Every year it grows. This year we have up to 1,100 individual participants who are going to come through Summer Institute over the course of the 2 days. So we invite our community members to come and be a part of our Summer Institute, where they might have a vendor table to provide products or services for our participants. And then also for lunch, we have 6 food trucks where teachers can purchase lunch. And our whole thing about Summer Institute is that it's tailored to the individual participant. They choose which courses they want to go to and what they feel was that they need to do their learning the most in.
And I wish that I had more time to take more classes because I want to learn so much and how to implement different things in the classroom and keep the kids involved.
Our goal is to bring our administrators and our teachers together in a collaborative environment so where they can continue in their learning and bring it back to their schools and their classrooms.
As educators, we're lifelong learners, so any opportunity we have to hear something that's impactful for our school, for our students, for our teachers, we're all ears.
It's really exciting time for our educators in our district.
Thank you, Ms. Hines.
Thank you. We appreciate you sharing that video. It was a great video, and I think that's, I had no idea that we offered 200 courses and 1,100 participants. That's outstanding. Thank you so much. There being no further business, I'll declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you all.